So tonight I went and saw Bridget Jones's Baby. That I've been looking forward to this film for a very long time. Bridget Jones's Diary is one of my all-time top 100 favorite films of just ever, and it's maybe one of the most watched films I've ever seen. It was one of the first DVDs I ever purchased. I can probably hum the DVD menu because I've turned it on so many times. I love it so much. I saw it. I was I want to say 15, maybe 16, almost 16 when it came out in 2001. And no, I guess, well, it was late 2001. So anyways, point being, I saw that when I was in high school. And then the sequel, Edge of Reason, came out when I was in college, and we all went to see it. I distinctly remember us all going to go see it, all my friends from college, and it was not that good. There was like one fun sequence with the song By the Darkness, but for the most part, not the greatest of films. So obviously another film didn't happen, and I was always thinking it's probably not going to happen because then the third book was like people hated it even more than they hated the second book, which I didn't think the second book was that bad, but I haven't read the third book. So then they decided finally to make this one not based on the third book, and Emma Thompson wrote some of the screenplay. She gets the third written by credit, so I'm assuming like that hers is the final draft. I'm not really sure. I don't want to read about the production history. I don't care. I just want to talk about the film. Renée Zellweger is back. She's great. She's Bridget. She's the Bridget you want her to be, but Bridget in her 40s, where she's still a little uncomfortable with herself, but in a way that everyone is, and a little more comfortable with herself in a way that everyone is as you age. And she still has this on again, off again thing with Mark, which I think works. Like, part of you wants her to have, a happily ever after, and part of you understands that doesn't always work out, and part of you realizes it's a movie and you need drama, right? So, but I feel the reasons for why they didn't make it work were done in such a way that it felt honest and it felt real and it felt like why a couple that maybe is in love would still not be able to make it work in terms of work and or career. Work meaning career, and that kind of stuff. And then so you have thrown in the issue is she decides to just be a cougar basically, and goes off to a music festival with her. That was a spoiler. I'm sorry. With her younger coworker. She's still working in the news, and accidentally winds up, running into Patrick Dempsey's character. I'm not going to spoil what he does, but it's quite good. And does what she's, sows her wild oats. And then runs into Mark. He's single again. She gets a little drunk. She's around children. It's a christening. The next thing you know, boom. And then now she's pregnant. And that's the plot, basically. And so the ups and downs are dealing with, one, her dealing with a pregnancy, two, her dealing with the change in news, and that subplot I found interesting. Although there were one too many jabs at millennials, I think that didn't quite land for me because as a millennial who works in media, I'm always just like, we're not all like that, But old man yells at clouds, so whatever. But the criticism at news becoming sensationalism and junk, especially in England, was right on, I thought. But back to Patrick Dempsey, he was really good and really having a lot of fun. Like, you could see that he had fun playing this role. He had fun playing opposite Renee, and he had fun just being this character. And so it was fun to watch him have fun, and it didn't even feel like I was watching a performance. I felt like I was just watching a guy having fun, and I really enjoyed that. And then for Colin Firth playing Mark Darcy, you see he's always sort of been, because he's based on Mr. Darcy, right? And so he's always this like sort of buttoned up, not cold so much as just uncomfortable with his emotions, right? And he even gets a scene where he kind of talks about that, and you see him going through the pain of what being that kind of buttoned up emotionally person can do as you get older and as people start falling away because of that. And so there's an emotional depth to this film that even the first film didn't really have, that I thought was beautiful. And then so you come to Bridget, and she's grown up and she's really doing things for herself. And so even though she's in this sort of love triangle, it's not really ever a triangle. It's always about her and what she needs, and it's very centered on her and her needs and what the world means for her, not necessarily what it means if him or if him. It's more like the two of them have to figure out what their lives mean if her. And I felt that was really not something you see often in rom-coms where there's maybe a love triangle, because it's usually the woman trying to figure out who's right for her, right? And instead, it was the two of them trying to figure out how to be right for her, which is just taking everything and spinning it, which is beautiful. Like I said, Emma Thompson wrote this, at least a draft of the screenplay. She's in the film too. She plays the OBGYN, and she is quite sassy. And then all her other friends are there, and then new friends, because it's been, years, so she's got new friends, and her old boss is there, and it's just really delightful. And there's a nice little callback to Hugh Grant's character. And stay through the end of the credits, because there is a great little shot that's beautiful, and as soon as I have this on DVD, I'll screenshot it and put it on the internet. I just loved this movie. It's maybe my favorite movie I've seen all year. It's just everything I wanted from a Bridget Jones movie. I love this character so much. Yeah, you should go see it. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I wish we had more cute romantic comedies to go see, because I miss the romantic comedies. I love them. They're my favorite. So this was Bridget Jones's Baby. Just came out this weekend. It's directed by Sharon Maguire, who directed the original film. And I thought it was fantastic, and you should go see it.